Wolves hunt in packs. They are efficient and strategic, and when they target prey, they usually hit their mark. Have you ever seen a pack of wolves hunt musk oxen? What about sheep? If you want to see wolves in action, stick around because we are getting started. "15. Wolf versus donkey. The pack is on the prowl in this video, and the target is a lone donkey. But the wolves soon find out that this donkey can run and has a lot of stamina. A lot more than I personally anticipated. I never perceived donkeys as being athletic because I've only seen them standing around. I know this countdown is about wolves, but during one part of the clip, we see a snow leopard hanging from the donkey's neck and the donkey managing to free himself of the feline. These donkeys are fearsome beasts. This clip is mind-boggling. These wolves manage to take down a donkey, and it almost looks like the donkey is taking a nap, because once it's on the ground, it doesn't move, but the wolves don't try to eat it. Suddenly, the donkey gets up and slowly walks away. How did this happen? These wolves could not have been that hungry for this to happen the way it did. Donkeys don't take crap from any animals, so when this wolf tries to harass or take down a donkey in this video, the donkey stands his ground, forcing the wolf to reevaluate his plan. 14. Wolf versus dog. In this video, a wolf is attacking a dog when a second dog arrives to help his friend, but he doesn't do much except stand there and try to bite the wolf occasionally, but it's far from convincing. The other dog is giving the wolf a good fight, but we don't get to see the outcome of the scuffle. In this video, a wolf approaches a dog that's tied to a fence and grabs him by the neck. The dog is limited in his movement, which gives the attacking wolf a big advantage. The wolf eventually chokes and kills the dog and is strong enough to pull the dog away, breaking the chain and running off with him in his mouth. A small dog sees 3 wolves approaching in this video and runs back to warn his friend, which is a bigger dog. The bigger dog launches an attack with the small dog by his side, but as soon as the bigger dog realizes they're outnumbered, he runs away, leaving the smaller dog alone against the 3 wolves. It's too dark to see what happens to the smaller dog, but what a coward the bigger dog is, leaving his friend to die with the wolves. 13. Arctic wolves versus musk oxen. The musk ox is huge and powerful and has a large coat to protect it. So when these 4 Arctic wolves decide to attack this musk ox, they are in for a treat, and the kind they expect. The musk ox fights like a beast and fends off all the attacks, even though the wolves are aggressive and don't let up. It takes some time, but the wolves eventually get the job done. Musk oxen males stand 5 feet at the shoulder and weigh a massive 800 pounds. Aside from polar bears, they are the largest animals that roam the Arctic tundra, but even they are vulnerable to predators. A pack of Arctic wolves catches the herd and defies it, but the musk oxen scramble to form a defensive ring. The adults equipped with long hooked horns are more than a match for the war, but it's not the adults the wolves are after. The herd panics and runs. It is a fatal mistake. Their lines are broken, so they cannot protect their young. The wolves separate a calf from the rest of the herd, and the wolves make a kill. When 2 wolves manage to isolate a musk ox calf, the herd comes running to its rescue and chase the wolves away, forcing them to abandon the hunts. The musk oxen maintain their motto, one for all and all for one, and prove it in this video. 12. Wolf hunts mountain goats. An Arabian wolf can be seen chasing a mountain goat along steep cliffs in Israel. Mountain goats are designed to handle themselves well on this kind of terrain. But I must say, the wolf is doing a fine job as well, and it allows him to make the kill. This wolf notices something of interest and decides to go after it. It's a flock of sheep and goats. However, things don't go as planned for the wolf because the sheep herder is on a horse, and he makes sure the wolf doesn't get too close by chasing him away. 11. Wolf attack on deer. The hunt is overseen by this alpha male. Every wolf is aware of his function. The deer hear a whisper in the woods, and they know the wolves are approaching. The wolves will strive to approach as close as possible before attacking. Their goal is to isolate the weakest deer from the rest of the group. The hunt is called off because the adjacent shepherd and his hounds are too dangerous an adversary. Trail cameras in Manitoba's Interlake region were able to catch footage that appeared to be never before seen. This video shows a pack of 6 wolves killing and devouring a white-tailed doe carcass, all in great frame of the trail camera. This is truly a once-in-a-lifetime sighting. A deer is attacked by two wolves along a roadway. One of the wolves bites the deer, and it appears like the deer cannot get up. The deer is being ignored by one of the wolves, while another one continues to bite it. It is during a hunt where cooperation between wolves within a pack is most apparent. A wolf pack may trail a herd of elk, caribou, or other large prey for days before making its move. During this time, they are already hunting, assessing the herd, looking for an animal that displays any signs of weakness, and this is just the beginning. Wolves must also factor in other conditions that will affect the hunt. Weather and terrain can tip the scales in favor of predators or prey. For example, a wide open plain favors the ungulates. If full-grown and healthy, can outrun the fastest wolf. On the other hand, crusty snow or ice favors the wolves, whose wide, round paws have evolved to perform like snowshoes and carry them effortlessly over the surface. An experienced wolf understands that hoofed animals break through the crust and become bogged down in the deep snow. But the wolf in this video doesn't have time to think about any of this, because he has no problem taking down and killing a deer right in front of a household. 10. Wolf hunts moose. In our thumbnail, we can see two wolves killing what looks like a moose calf. Adult moose are huge and difficult to kill, so targeting smaller moose calves is easier for the wolves. The mother of a newborn moose attempts to intervene when a pack of wolves attack her calf, but I believe it's too late. Even when the mother attacks, the wolves kill the young moose. These simply avoid being trampled by the mother's powerful legs and proceed to devour the calf. The large moose comes back multiple times to defend her calf, but she is unsuccessful. In northern Idaho, a few people coming back from a road trip came around the turn on the road and saw two wolves trying to bring down a moose. They stand for about 20 minutes and watch the moose fend off the wolves and escape with a bad limp. 9. Wolf hunting elk. In this video, a gray wolf attacks an elk in the middle of a river in Yellowstone National Park. The dramatic footage was captured by some wildlife enthusiast in the area. Note how the wolf cleverly removes an obstruction in his way. The outcome of the hunt is unknown because a park ranger asked everyone to move along, so they had to stop filming. Wolves know that large prey like elk can be dangerous if they fight back. What wolves want is to force their prey into running away, just like this herd of elks. Now, the wolves can fan out over the herd and wait for an old, sick, or just unlucky elk to make a wrong move. At the beginning of the winter, the male elk stands his ground against a wolf pack. At the end of the winter, the elks are too weak and are easy prey for the wolves. A black wolf takes the lead during this hunt as an elk tries to escape its grasp. The rest of the pack trails behind, but they will catch up soon enough to help in the takedown. Once the black wolf has a grip on the elk's neck, it takes it down, and that's when the rest of the pack arrives to finish the hunt. 8. Wolf hunts sheep. Mongolia is a land where there are plenty of wolves. Wolves will attack nomadic livestock if they are short of food. In the grasslands and mountains of Mongolia, wolves are the target of wounds to the nomads, but they are also wise and brave and worshipped. These wolves show no remorse when they ambush a bunch of sheep in their enclosure. The wolves are hungry, and when hunger hits, they break all the rules. The sheep are afraid and they plead for help as loudly as they can, but no one comes. The wolves kill a few sheep and eat their prey. On flat ground, wild sheep can outsprint wolves, but in deep snow, when the herd panics, the predator obtains the upper hand and the wolf gets a quick kill. Because of behavior displayed by the wolves in this video, wolves are widely regarded as a nuisance in many parts of the world. This wolf is on a rampage and is slaughtering sheep for no apparent reason because he kills one after the other without eating any of them. Shouldn't these people have sheepdogs to protect the wolves away and alert the shepherds? 7. Wolf versus Wolverine. This poor Wolverine has his head stuck in some sort of pail while a wolf chases him. The wolf doesn't attack the Wolverine, so both animals keep running around like two chickens without a head. In this conflict, two wolves are battling a Wolverine. Isn't it supposed to be straightforward? Wrong. Even though the two wolves are attacking the Wolverine from opposite sides, it can repel them and become the aggressor. The wolves appear fearful, and the Wolverine has the audacity to approach the wolf's kill and eat at the same table as them. Wolverines are just as crazy as honey badgers, so when this wolf decides to attack one by himself, he's in for the fight of his life. The Wolverine fends off the wolf repeatedly, ready to battle to the death if he must, but the wolf is determined and remains on the offensive, even though the Wolverine is a demon in disguise. The wolf decides he's had enough and walks away, while the wolverine, somewhat shook up, is back on his feet seconds later as if nothing happened and continues his journey. I told you these wolverines and honey badgers were brothers from another mother. A wolverine lunges at a wolf in this video, and the battle is epic and vicious as the two animals use all their strength to defeat the other. But it doesn't look like we have a winner in this one. This footage isn't great, but another wolverine is involved in a skirmish with a wolf. Wolverines are incredibly brave and aggressive, like honey badgers, so fighting a wolf for these creatures is just another day at the office. 6. Wolf hunts lamb. This wolf meets some lambs at night, but doesn't react much, except when he realizes what he could be missing. So he decides to go on the chase and try and snatch one, and he's successful. A lone wolf hunts and takes down a lamb in the open field. I'm surprised a flock of sheep such as this one does not have a few sheepdogs protecting it from predators. 4. Wolf attack coyote. These wolves pursue two coyotes, and if they are caught, they are cooked. Coyotes are no match for a single wolf, let alone a pack of wolves. Once the coyotes are caught, they are eliminated and eaten. The other coyote flees for her life, and when she knows she is no longer in danger, she howls, knowing full well that she has lost her partner. Even though the coyotes were outnumbered by the wolves, in a head-to-head fight, the wolf would easily defeat the coyote because wolves are much larger in size, weight, and height, and have a much stronger bite force. A single coyote poses no danger to a healthy adult wolf. 3. Wolf versus bear. In the wild, the two species evolve together and do not fight for the same foods or harass each other. Wolves are quicker and more agile than bears. Bears are bigger and heavier. The bears ignore the wolves, who, though curious, recognize the bear as too formidable an adversary to take on. However, they can clash when there is no other choice. Wolves are usually in packs of 10 or 15, so when they meet a bear, they usually gang up on it. But the bear is a powerful opponent, and even many wolves may not frighten it. The bear wants this kill, but the wolves aren't going to give it up easily. The bear won't hesitate to unleash his full fury if they don't let go. The wolves give up their kill and escape unharmed. We can see these apex predators compete again after 25 years since they were introduced to the Yellowstone National Park. But more importantly, we can learn about the natural world and how charismatic animals like bears and wolves affect their environment. When a mother grizzly and her cub emerge from their winter deb, they are greeted by driving snow and something more ominous, a pack of hungry wolves. The wolves outnumber mom, but a mother bear is nothing to toy with, especially when she has a cub to protect. She could break a wolf's pack with a single swipe of the paws, but she can't risk being led more than a few yards from her cub, because he's the one the wolves want. After thinking it over, the wolves lose interest and go looking for something else to hunt. Meanwhile, mom and her cub continue their long trek without any obstacles. 2. Wolf hunts caribou. Wolves. Finding food in the plains is even more difficult for them. They've been looking for days with no indication of anything, not only because their prey is seasonal, but also because they've been hunting for days with no trace of anything. They must find food somewhere in this vast landscape. During the summer, they may cover approximately 2,000 miles by traveling 30 miles every day. If the wolves don't find caribou, they will starve, but finding prey that never stops moving is no simple task. The migration is propelled ahead by biting insects and the need to find greener pasture. Finally, a wolf has found a trail. The caribou are approaching. Finally, a chance. The hunt has begun. The wolves frighten the herd, and the weaker young are targeted. A wolf captures a calf after it is separated from its mother. Caribou are a fast-moving species. Newborn calves must be able to run from the moment they are born. The enormous herds, on the other hand, do not go alone. Wolves follow the migration in packs of 8 to 10, and they're ravenous. They are chasing the newborn calves and flying directly overhead to create terror. The herd disperses, making it easier to target a single calf for the wolves. A calf is separated from its mother during the chaos. The calf is young, but it can outrun the wolves if it can hold its balance. The odds are even at this point, and either the caribou will make a mistake or the wolf will quit after a mile. Although it appears like the two of them are fatigued, it looks like the wolf will win this chase. 1. Wolf hunting tactics. Wolves know that large prey like elk can be dangerous if they fight back. What wolves want is to force their prey into running away, just like this herd of elks. Now, the wolves can fan out over the herd, waiting for an old, sick, or just unlucky elk to make a wrong move. The alpha male leads the hunt, biding his time to direct his troops and eventually one elk stumbles. The hungry wolves quickly surround the faltering victim. They swarm in for the kill and then the meal. Wolves are a vital part of a healthy Yellowstone ecosystem. They filter out weak and sick animals in herds and help scavengers survive by providing leftovers from their hunts. I love the way wolves work together and isolate their prey, even though I feel bad for the innocent victims. It was also amazing to see how the wolves were not intimidated by the bears. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's it for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. Thank you for watching and see you next time.
In the extreme north of the Canadian province of Saskatchewan, we visit a uranium mine by the name of Point's North Landing in this tale. This region experiences a continental climate. Therefore, the winters are extremely cold and the summers are scorching hot. The north of this province is sparsely populated, and those who do live here work in the mining, wood, or energy industries, because the majority of this province's human population resides in the south. And there you can also find animals like caribou, moose, and black bears. But the ones that you should be aware of are the wolves. Canadian citizen Kenton Joel Carnegie, 22, is a student at the University of Waterloo from Waterloo, Ontario. He was completing an internship at the uranium mine surfacing facility, which was around 350 kilometers from La Range, the location of his geological engineering studies. On November 8, 2005, at around 5:30 p.m., Kenton made the decision to take a stroll around the camp's perimeter. Although he needed permission and was cautioned about traveling alone, he wasn't easily deterred because he occasionally enjoyed a little adventure. His first error was to forget that wanderlust isn't necessarily a good thing. He promised to return by supper time, which was at 7 o'clock, to a coworker. He left the structures behind as dusk set and crossed the large field outside of town. He was about a kilometer from camp, meandering along the edge of a lake. He crunched to the edge of a looming tree line because it looked appealing. The majority of the trees in the area are black spruce, which are smaller than larger trees, but thicker and more closely spaced. You can't see very far in front due to the trees blocking your view, which happens to make these trees an ideal predator camouflage. As he got closer to the tree line, he raised his head and saw a spectator. Only a few meters in front of him, a wolf was facing him broadside. Kenton had seen wolves in the area, and they were not friendly, despite the fact that the wolf seemed indifferent. Black bears and wolves frequented the camp waste dump in the area, and both species were aggressive and unafraid of people. On occasion, they would approach people while snarling and bellowing like animals accustomed to receiving food from the humans. Kenton made the decision to not try his luck, and he turned around to get back to camp. But as he was about to turn around, he saw a second wolf appear over his back track. Between this wolf and the shortest path back to camp, he was trapped. His anxiety was rising. He was unaware of the wolves' pursuit of him ever since he had left the camp. While one hid behind the trees, the other followed in his footsteps while being pursued by a bloodhound. Kenton had unknowingly wandered into an ambush. As night fell, Kenton grew more and more eager to get back to the safety of his camp. Panicked, he had made the worst choice he could have. He chose to run. His second error was to flee without having any plans. He could have gotten a somewhat different result if he had just given this part some attention. So, he made an effort to sprint around that wolf that stood between him and the camp, making his way back through the trees. As he attempted to dash back to camp, two other wolves, one from each side of him, joined the two already pursuing them. Because they know the animal would defend itself and hurt them if it sees them, apex predators stay away from animals that are staring at them. Particularly, wolves like to flush their victims by squeezing in on the weak spot of the prey animal's back. The same strategy was implemented with Kenton. Just a few meters into the chase, his strides lengthened to manage the snow as quickly as possible, and the wolves had closed in on him, biting into his thigh. Blood started to spray the snow as the wolves tore at his flesh as he rolled on the ground to avoid their vicious jaws. Kenton kicked and yelled as he tried to escape the pack as it surrounded him. One of the wolves bit his calf muscle of his right leg, and another one had bit his right hand. Before being caught and hauled to the ground a second time, he managed to escape and to run a few more meters. The wolves were charging in for assault on his legs and everything that they could sink their teeth into. He kicked, he struck, he roared at them. His blood accumulated on the snow below him as he struggled with them. Kenton managed to escape a third time. He dashed a few meters closer to the camp before being caught again. He was terrified, and he believed that his only option was to fight for his life. After kicking and stomping at the wolves, Kenton was hit in the back and he fell into the snow. Another would charge him from behind and attack him from his blind side as he turned to tackle the first wolf. His blood continued to collect and flow into the snow. Kenton released his hold once more, hoping to escape the now irate wolf pack. They quickly overcame him once more, and the adrenaline rush had left him out of breath and worn out. A wolf had bit his nose, tearing the tissue and causing him unimaginable pain all over his body. He was currently covered in significant bite marks on his hands, his arms, his face, his legs. No matter which way he moved, he was continually being assaulted from behind. His blood covered the snow and greenery beneath him as he steadily stood with his feet apart. He turned to kick one of the wolves, but lost his balance. He fell to the ground. When he stopped moving, all 4 wolves charged him. They started biting and tearing at his body. The 2 errors he committed that night sealed his fate. By the time that supper arrived, Kenton's camp colleagues had realized he didn't come back. At 7:30, they packed into a camp pickup truck and they headed down to the lake to search for him. The men discovered wolf tracks when they got to the beach, and they returned to the camp to retrieve a gun. The men found Kenton's remains nearby when they got back to the lake, and they used a flashlight to find them. It wasn't surrounded by wolves, but there were wolf footprints all around it. The haphazard rescue team could hear wolves howling in the background, and as they returned to the location of Kenton's death to begin loading his remains, they could make out a pair of eyes sparkling in the shadows. The majority of the track evidence was destroyed during the search and recovery efforts, which led into an investigation. Kenton sustained mortal wounds in a predatory attack, but the coroner refrained from calling it a wolf attack because nobody had witnessed it. Since they had not been seen in the region for more than a month, black bears were probably hibernating at this time. Mountain lions and coyotes were not known to frequent the area and hadn't been seen there. So it seems like wolves were the remaining culprits. The jury agreed after hearing the prosecution's argument from the authorities that Kenton died as a result of a wolf attack. Even though Kenton's passing was a terrible tragedy, experts advised that there wasn't a need to panic over one's passing. In his memory, Kenton's parents created a memorial scholarship at Waterloo University and expressed worry that authorities were ignoring more important policy matters. They said that the wolf pack's reliance on human food sources had been neglected by the camp's biologists, which led to their loss of respect for people. The camp's garbage dump was surrounded by an electric fence to keep the wolves and the bears out. And a few years later, a young man was attacked by a lone wolf while taking a break outside of camp just 100 meters away. Authorities commanded the killing of nearby wolves and the construction of food disposal equipment at the camp in order to stop further luring. Prior to Carnegie's passing, there had only ever been one documented instance of a deadly wolf attack in all of North America. Kenton's passing was tragic. If he had made some wiser choices, it might have been averted, like carrying a gun when you go out. Although what's transpired cannot be changed, we have taken steps to prevent a repeat of this situation. It's not common for wolves to hunt humans, but if you are going to an area where there could be wild animals, then you need to take the necessary precautions. The best thing that you can do is go in a group. If you go alone, then you're an easy target. Also, carry arms with you in case of an emergency, and also use them. By doing a few simple things, you can save your life in the wild.